Today's it's your boy Dutch the Damon, and you now watching Damon Time with Dutch. On today's episode of Prison Stories Uncut, we got Hagerstown, RCI, Roxbury trapped on that farm with it. Now, this situation took place over 20 some odd years ago, right? They had your boy trapped in that motherfucking farm. But before I hop off in the storytelling mode, we're gonna go ahead on and run the shout outs down for the people that have been supporting the channel through Cash App. First up on the list, we got Dana Morgan. This brother, an avid watcher, loyal supporter. This brother don't just watch, he support. Appreciate you, brother, Dana Morgan. And last but not least, we got the brother Gregory Wheatley. This brother watch all my content, sent his hard-earned money in through Cash App, bless the channel. Appreciate you, brother, Gregory Wheatley. Now that we got that out the way, let's get it. Yeah, so when I was younger, before I went to prison, I had a girlfriend who was originally from Greenmount Avenue, but when I met her, I had moved out the county when they knocked the projects down, and she was living out Sedonia. If you're not from Baltimore, Sedonia is half county and half city. Half of Sedonia is in the county, half of it is the city. She lived on the county side. Now, I met her when I moved out the county when they knocked the projects down, right? We started going to county school. She sent her sister over there, tell me at my locker with a little love note, talking about check yes or no and all that old shit, back in the day shit. But anyway, she was my first real girlfriend. And she actually became my first. We actually took each other V card for real. We was each other first. Now, she had 3 brothers and sisters, but she was the oldest. Now, when I tell you this girl was so pretty, and still is to this day, beautiful. But she looked like she stepped out of a magazine these days. But anyway, back then, this was back when everybody was skinny. She had a little gap in her teeth, brown skin, pretty eyes. In my mind, she was the baddest thing walking. Her father was in prison and her mother was deceased. So her grandmother was raising her and all her brothers and sisters in her grandmother's house for real, out Sedonia. So needless to say, I was super in love with her. Got into countless fights behind this girl. And she got in a few because of me too. And you know, when you coming up during them ages, I used to wonder why her mother wasn't around or why she didn't have her mom in her life, right? One day I asked her, she told me like, you know, my mother passed away. I'm like, dang. She like, yeah, when she was younger. She like, you wanna know what happened? I'm like, if you don't mind for real. She like, I don't mind. So basically, she get to telling me like, her mother was messing with this dude from up Greenmount Avenue. If you know anything about Greenmount Avenue, that's one of the worst neighborhoods in America, period. Look it up. That the trenches. But her mother was messing with Slim. And Slim had got into it with some serious dudes. Shit hit the fan. All I know is, her mother ends up deleted and they charged the boyfriend with it. I could see the hurt in her eyes when she was telling me the story. It was a little confusing to me because I ain't understand how he ended up getting charged when he beefed. It was kind of confusing, right? But anyway, you could tell that hit close to home. She had went and got her mother name tatted on her and all that. But like I say, this happened when she was a little girl. So fast forward a little bit, I ends up catching time. Now, of course, this is years later. We done got a little bit older. We ain't together no more. We broke up when we was younger. But she still held a special place in my heart as far as her being my first, and we just having genuine love for each other. Yeah, so when I got booked, she was coming to see me up Hagerstown in the prison. Not over the city jail. She was coming all the way on that farm to see a nigga. That was big love. So when I get transferred from off on that farm and I ends up down MCIJ, they put me in the cell with this old head nigga, right? Curly hair, brown skin, one gold in his mouth. Had a little size to him, a little girth to him. Now, he had been down like 13 years, right? You know, they moved me in the cell, we get acquainted, he tell me his name, I tell him my name, right? He wasn't no good brother or nothing like that, he was just a civilian, but he was all right, I guess. He the one was telling me who my brothers was and shit. Cause I had just got up there, I ain't even know who was in the jail yet. Well, long story short, we in the cell one night, late night, we was in that bitch playing tunk. And he got to talking about how he had an appeal win. Told me he was locked up for murder, saying he ain't do the shit. And how his family got his appeal lawyer money together. So I'm like, oh, all right, that's what it is. He get to showing me his documents, his paperwork and shit like that, right? I'm reading, I'm going through it. But the whole time I'm reading, I'm thinking like, this case sounds familiar. All the way down to how he was talking about how they had found the girl body in the basement of the house on Greenmount Avenue. So I'm looking at the time frame, the neighborhood, and the charges, right? Shit sound real familiar. So he had a little nickname he was going by in there. I was calling him by that. But when he showed me his motion of discovery, I seen his real name, right? Locked it in my mind. Still wasn't sure of what case it was or where I knew the situation from. So they called their room. We locked in the cell for count time. I'm laid back on my bunk with the headphones on, listening to Big L, Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous. Got that bitch on bunk. Then out of nowhere, that shit just came to me. Yo, I wonder if that's the nigga locked up for Shorty, mother, yo. And I started thinking like, that was a while ago, man. That could be just coincidental. So I get to running it down to my cell buddy, right? Big Duke, like, man, that sound like it could be yo, Dutch. I'm like, man, I hope Shorty number the same. I'm gonna call Shorty when we come back out for night run. So long story short, sure as shit, I ends up calling Shorty on the three-way. I get my mother to call her on the three-way. She picked right up. Who this is? Like, man, it's time, man, what it is? She all happy to hear from me because I ain't talked to her in a while. So after we made our little small talk, I told her, I said, man, look, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but that situation that happened with your mom, right? What exact year was that? And she told me, I'm like, I'm like, do you remember the dude's name who was charged with that? She straight said the name, on the break, no hesitation. She had that name locked, and I'm mine. She like, why you asking me? She like, what, you in there with him? I'm like, I don't know yet, but I think so for real. She just got real quiet on the phone, like dead silence. Then I hear her sniffling on the phone, like crying for real. So I tell her, like, don't worry about it, yo. I'm gonna take care of it for real, y'all. She sniffling and shit. She like, I'm gonna talk to you later, yo. I'm fucked up right now. So she get off the phone. That shit touched my heart for real, because I had a sweet spot in my heart for sure. I'm thinking about that shit like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and do something about that shit while I got the chance to. So kind of find out he was a Muslim. He ain't used to go to Jumu'ah and shit like that all the time like he's supposed to, but he was a Muslim. So I run the play by the big brothers. Let them know I was going to go ahead and put that work in. They told me get them a couple of days so they can figure out what's what. Well, the verdict came back, Slim was Muslim. And the big brother was telling me like, man, that shit right there gonna start a whole war. Is it that imperative? So I'm thinking like, it's not my direct beef, you feel me? But it's almost like a family thing. So the brothers left it up to me, told me to make my best decision. Me, I ain't wanna let the opportunity slip away. So I set the hit up to go down in 2 days, because the big brothers, they had some shit going on, money-wise. I ain't wanna fuck their money up. So I say 2 days, I'm gonna go ahead and slide on him. So I'm just playing possum around him in the cell, making him think it's all good. I got the hit all mapped out. Only problem was, he had to go to appellate court that morning. So I'm thinking he gonna be coming out in the day run. This nigga ain't even tell me he had court. The day I was supposed to hit him, they called this man 4 o'clock in the morning, tell him pack up for court. Pack him up, sitting down the bullpen 4 o'clock in the morning, cause you know they wake you up early for court. Court don't even start till 9 o'clock, they wake you up early. But anyway, he goes to fucking court and gets exonerated. Give all that time back. They ain't even bring his ass back to the cell. The officers came and packed him up. They say that man been locked up all them years, ain't even do that shit. It was all over the news how he gave his time back. Here I am getting ready to hang that dagger in Slim. Whole time, innocent man.